rematch though, a fight like that, isn't it?
No, not really. I mean, stylistically, it was always going to be like that. But when you get the opportunity to become mandatory challenger and fight, you know, you want to make the fight, obviously, because I think that what was on the line, he needed to do more to win that fight outright. I mean, you could have made an argument for him, could have made an argument for BELLEW, but I just felt that you needed to do more when the world title opportunity was on the line. But he's obviously devastated.
Would there be a chance to get another guy in the top 5 or something in a different elimination?
I don't know. It'd be a difficult argument to make when they've just had a draw. But you know, I think on that performance, maybe he's not quite ready for a Chad Dawson or something like that. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise to go away and build again and learn more, and perhaps come back better. Because I don't feel on that performance that he maybe would have, you know, with a Dawson or something like that. Chilemba's a very good fighter, by the way. I mean, he's very clever, very quick, very slick.
But he may take it very slow at times.
Yeah, but that's what he does. That's his attributes. He's very fast, he's slick, he's difficult to nail. I just felt that Tony gave him the middle of the ring. When everything was working so well after 3 or 4 rounds by taking the middle of the ring, he gave Chilemba the middle of the ring and the fight just changed completely.
So maybe you plan to get Tony out on something like the fracture undercut?
Yeah, I'd quite like to do that because, you know, I want to give him more fights and more experience, and he's devastated now. I mean, you know, and he'll take a few. You know, he'll probably have to watch it back because, you know, you can have an argument. I don't know what the press row thought. How did we all score it?
Chilemba.
Yeah. But obviously, it's difficult convincing Tony of that. But I thought when the final bell rang, I was worried, but I felt it could have gone either way. So I'd like to get him potentially on. I mean, he's not injured, he's not even had a tough fight, so even the May the 11th card in Glasgow or the Froch Kessler, get him out in a 10 rounder or something like that. I mean, he's also a mandatory challenger for the European title against Bramer, which obviously is not going to happen because he's got Cleverly next, but he could potentially fight for the European title as well. But I guess Chilemba's camp will be looking for the rematch because we're not. No, after. It's the back-to-back mandatories. Back-to-back mandatories, Bramer. So whoever wins out of that two has to fight Bramer as a mandatory. So therefore, Tony will fight next in line. But 2 draws. Odds on that?
About 700 or
more. Must be more.
25 times 25.
Is it only 25?
Yeah, booking's not green.
So I don't know if he's going to come in here, but I will talk to him and see.
Was he a bit too wound up, do you think? Because he was overreaching a lot and he seemed very psyched up before the fight.
He's always like that, Tony. I just think Chilemba was very, very difficult and awkward. Tony's not slow, but at times Chilemba made him look a little bit slow, and he's not a slow like heavyweight. But I didn't think Tony looked to have plenty in the tank towards the end of the fight, which was surprising because he's had a great camp, and I don't know the reason for that. But I didn't think he looked as fresh as Chilemba in the last 2 or 3 rounds.
What is there an argument? Because every fight, Tony in fight week is, you know, man possessed, mental. Is there an argument for opponents like that? There's maybe needs to be a change in approach mentally, if anything, just to calm down.
Yeah, maybe. I think he was calm with his tactics. I don't think he was gun ho. I mean, he's a lunatic on fight week anyway. But I still think that his tactics were correct at the start of the fight. But then he just seemed to switch off. And I don't know what happened, but the middle part of the fight, I think he come back a little bit towards the end of the fight. But I don't think, I think his temperament was fine. I think he was well prepared mentally for the type of fight that he had to fight, but he couldn't execute it.
Chilemba got his jab going very well from the 5th or 6th onwards, didn't he, in that period? And McGirt was urging him just to keep that going, that's all he needed to do.
I think he got confidence was the key. After 4 rounds, I had Tony 3-1 up, or even, you know, 3 and a share. And then he just sort of, when Tony started giving him the middle of the ring, the fight just changed completely. And Tony was boxing on the back foot, which he didn't look comfortable doing. It was weird how it played out, because I didn't see it going like that after 3 or 4 rounds.
You were a bit hoarse then. You were screaming him on.
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? I mean, you know what's at stake, and you just know that potentially 1 round could swing it. That's what I felt. I felt that, you know, with 3 to go, it was all there to play for. I think I gave Chilemba 10 and 11 maybe. I thought BELLEW might have just nicked the last, but 4 rounds to Chilemba was too much. I mean, that was, You know, 1 round either way you could have made an excuse for. The draw you could have made an excuse for, and Chilemba or BELLEW either way. But you know, Tony don't really want to hear that at the moment, but that's my honest opinion. So
does he need to accept it so that he can learn from it?
you've got to accept it, but it might take a while. You might have to watch it back, and then you might still think you won it, so it doesn't really matter. But
Is the case with that he still doesn't accept he lost the featherweight fight?
yeah, I mean, but I felt that's another fight. I think what hurt him the most is that generally that fight being as close as it was in your hometown, you'd generally get the nod. Do you know what I mean? Especially if it's like that one either way, you'd hope you'd get the nod. But of course, in final eliminators, you know, with independent judges and so forth, it doesn't really matter. And it wasn't the kind of fight and atmosphere because of the fight that would lead a judge to scoring it that way. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you hear the noise, the roar, and you think, oh, that was a good shot, but actually there wasn't even a punch landed. But because it was a placid atmosphere, the hometown element was really taken out of the equation anyway. Because it wasn't the best fight, you know.
It was sort of like after Derry's fight.
Well, that was the problem. When you see a fight like that, all of a sudden it's like, you know, I mean, I thought tactically I found it reasonably interesting, but it just wasn't, you know, it wasn't a great fight. But I always knew it was never going to be a classic, but it was one we just had to win. So, but I mean, he's drawn, he hasn't lost, so just in the same position basically. But you know, everything happens for a reason. Alright, chaps. Alright, give me a couple of minutes and we'll see where the land lies. Alright.